सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ। याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव Hari Om. So we are seeing this third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It begins with Arjuna's question. Arjuna is asking Bhagwan that if, according to you, buddhi, that is Atma Buddhi, Atma Jnana, is superior to karma, to all karma. Ultimately, all karmas have to merge in Atma Jnana only. And only through Atma Jnana one can gain moksha. Through karma, we cannot gain moksha. Through self-knowledge alone, we can gain moksha. So if self-knowledge is superior, then why are you making me fight this war? Why are you propelling me in this terrible action? Tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi. And in the previous chapter, Bhagwan had mentioned both. He told Arjuna that self-knowledge is supreme. Gaining that abidance in that self-knowledge, one becomes free from all bondage. One becomes a Jivan Mukta. And all other karmas lead to bondage. But you perform this karma with Karma Yoga Bhavana. So Arjuna is asking that your statements appear to be contradictory. At one, in some places you propagate self-knowledge, and otherwise you tell me to perform action. So please tell me one thing. I am getting confused. Tell me one thing which is for my good. Ena shreyo ham apnoyam. By following that path, I can attain that shreya, that supreme goodness. Both the jnana, self-knowledge, and abiding in that self, and karma cannot happen together. We can't do both this sadhana together. They are contradictory. One has to be dropped, karma has to be dropped in order to gain abidance in self-knowledge. So Arjuna was not clear about the importance of karma and also its relation to self-knowledge. So Bhagwan gives this reply now. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Bhagwan says, Lokesmin dvividha anishta pura prokta mayanagha jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. That these are the twofold paths. This is the twofold path which is mentioned in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, in our Puranas, in Itihas, in Dharma Granthas, everywhere the twofold path is mentioned. One is the path of action, and then the path of knowledge or gaining abidance in that knowledge. Or you can say the path of meditation. These are the twofold path. So first we have to, if we are the initial seekers, we have to follow the path of karma, path of action. That action itself become more and more refined to become upasana, and then it becomes bhakti, and then we gain that knowledge by approaching a teacher. And once we gain self-knowledge, then begins the path of knowledge, that is the path of dhyana. So Bhagwan clearly mentioned that these twofold paths are there. Jnana yogena sankhyanam. Sankhya's are those who have gained self-knowledge but have not gained that abidance in that knowledge. For them is this path of meditation. And those who are in the initial stages of their sadhana, for them the path of karma yoga. So this is very clearly stated in Gita and in other our scriptures. So now Bhagwan is will tell Arjuna that just by renouncing karma, That's what Arjuna was thinking, that I will just renounce this karma and maybe go to the Himalayas or somewhere and just focus my attention on gaining that knowledge and gaining abidance in that knowledge. I will just renounce all karmas and gain that knowledge. So Bhagwan in the following verses, he tells Arjuna, just by renouncing karma, you will not attain the supreme goal. A very important shlokas. So in the fourth shloka, Bhagwan says, न च कर्म न कर्मणाम नारंभात नैष्कर्म्यम पुरुषोष्णुते न च संन्यसनादेव सिद्धिम समधिगच्छति. Bhagwan says, न कर्मणाम अनारंभात नैष्कर्म्यम पुरुषोष्णुते. A purusha, the seeker. Purusha doesn't mean only man, but woman also. The seeker who is expressing through this body, the human being who is expressing through this body, this is called a Purusha. This Jiva is also called a Purusha. This our whole body is like a Pura, like a city. And that Jiva is living in that city, expressing through that city, is asleep to his own supreme nature. Therefore, that Jiva is also called Purusha. Purishayanat. He is asleep in this city and is expressing through this body-mind complex. So this Purusha, this person, all of us, Bhagwan says that just by dropping karma, by not commencing, not initiating karma, Bhagwan says, you will not attain that Naishkarmya. Naishkarmya is the state of abidance in the self. See that what we had discussed before, the Sthita Prajnavastha or Jivan Mukti is also called Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya means free from all karma. See, this Atma, our pure self, is free from all karma. No action happens in the self. We have seen before that no vikar take place in the self. It is neither born, nor does it die, nor is there any other vikar, modification in the Supreme Self. It is neither the doer of any action, nor enjoyer of any result. It is pure, that pure self is free from all vikar. It's free from all activities. So to gain abidance in this Supreme Self is also called to gain Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya means freedom from all action. To become free from all action. Nishkarmata. There is no karma. Becoming totally free from all action. Because the Atma is already free from action. So when we gain that abidance in that Atma, we are free from all actions. It's a very beautiful, the term Naishkarmya. So when one listens to this, when one hears that, oh, Atma is free from all activities, Atma is free from all karma, then one jumps to the conclusion that if I drop all karma, maybe I will reach this state. If I stop acting, if I stop my body, mind, senses from functioning, if I just stop performing any action, then I am Atma. I will be able to abide in my own self. That is how a person might think, and that is how Arjuna might be thinking, that ultimately if I have to gain that state of no action, then why perform action? I can just stop acting. Just make the body still, make the senses still, make the mind still, and then I will attain that Naishkarmya Siddhi. Bhagavan says this is not possible. He says, Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushosnate. For an ignorant person, just by stopping the activity at the level of the body or stopping the activity at the level of the mind will not lead that person into samadhi, will not lead that person into meditation, will not make that person realize the self. And this is the mistake which many seekers they do. In the name of meditation, they will just sit and try to restrain their body, mind, senses, try somehow not to perform any action, not to initiate any action. Bhagavan says this is not the method. And then there are some who, listening to these scriptures and doing some satsang, become so inspired, they want to take sannyas. So they will just drop everything and then wear this, take sannyas, wear ochre robes, and just become a sannyasi. Bhagavan says, Nacha sanyasanadeva, just by taking sannyas, by taking ochre robes, by dropping all your relationship and all your actions, you will not attain the supreme goal. That is not the method. That is not the way it is done. Again, to give the example of the plane taking off, the plane cannot take off if it is just at a stationary place and it just decides that I will just take off. It cannot take off. If the plane says, let me just withdraw my wheels and I will be up in the sky, the plane will not be up in the sky. The plane has to first run on the runway and gather speed, and then only it can go up in the sky. Otherwise, it is not possible. So here we have to understand one thing about this, how this action gets initiated, how we perform action, and how this thing doesn't lead to self-knowledge. See, as long as we have the sense of doership, as long as we feel that I am this body, mind, intellect, I am functioning through this body, mind, intellect, as long as that ignorance is there, then I will be connected, I will be associated with all the actions happening at the level of the body, the mind, the senses. So just by stopping the body, mind, senses from not functioning will not give me this knowledge of that self. There is no, it doesn't work like that. It will not happen like that. See again another interesting thing about this initiating karma. How do we initiate karma? How does a karma begins? One is that the little actions which we do in life. You get up in the morning, you clean yourself, take a bath, wear new clothes, and do your daily work. So these are the everyday work which we do. But there are times when we initiate a major project, when we initiate a major movement in our life. We take an important beginning, we make an important beginning to lot of activities in our life. To give an example, just an example, recently we decided, that thought came to my mind, that let us have a spiritual camp. Okay. So I thought that let us have a spiritual camp where we can all seekers can go to a particular place, stay together for a week or so, study some text and do our sadhana together so that we can progress on our spiritual journey. I have taken camps before, spiritual camps before. So this thought came to my mind. So that is called a sankalpa coming. It's called a sankalpa. And that sankalpa came because of the past samskars of taking similar camp and having benefited from those camp, not only personally but others who participate, they also benefited. So when that sankalpa comes, what did I do? I thought over that and I thought, let me have this camp. And then I shared this sankalpa with other like-minded people. So then this sankalpa gathered more force, more energy. And all the related activity connected to make this sankalpa come true started taking place. We decided the appropriate date to have this camp. We contacted the place where we can have this camp and initiated a dialogue with those people. And then thereafter also inform all other people, made a publicity. So all this sankalpa started entering the minds of antakarana of lot of people, and together many people decided and took all initiative, started booking their train and flight and all, and everyone was ready to come for the camp, and the whole activity of having that camp would have taken place. But when this sankalpa had come to my mind, a sankalpa had come to Bhagwan's mind also. He was planning a coronavirus initiative in this world. So that thing happened in between. Then the announcement happened of this lockdown and all this thing happened. So we had to cancel that camp. All the sankalpa had to be withdrawn. The camp had to be cancelled. Idea is that when then how the activity begins, it begins with a sankalpa, and that sankalpa activates various procedures individually also and in a group of people also, and the work goes on. So that sankalpa becomes the arambha. It initiates the activity for an individual and also for a group of people. Okay, that's called arambha. For a seeker also, those who are doing their sadhana, we initiate activity. For example, I want to do some puja or want to do some yajna. Then that sankalpa has to come in my mind. Oh, let me on this day, let me do this puja of Bhagwan, offering him service on that day. So that sankalpa come. So I gather all the samogris and activate all the actions related to that, and then on that day I perform that puja. So for an activity to happen, that initiation has to take place. If that initiation doesn't take place, then the activity doesn't happen. That's called arambha, to initiate. If that initiation is not there, we will not perform any action. So here some people might feel that if I don't initiate action, आरंभ अगर मैं नहीं करता हूँ, if I don't initiate action, then no action will happen and I will attain that Naishkarmya Siddhi. I will understand myself as free from all activity. One thing, this doesn't work because though the little actions I may prevent them from happening, but the major action is already initiated. See, our whole life is initiated. All the activities which we are performing, the major activities which we are performing, are already initiated in our past karma only, in our past life. Therefore, this life and all that we experience is called prarabdha, prarabdha karma. Prarabdha means already started. Prakarshena arabdha, it has already started. Just like if they give an example of a person firing or shooting an arrow. Let us say I have a bow in my hand, an arrow, and I put that arrow to that bow and stretch it and shoot that arrow. So when that arrow is shot, it takes a particular flight. It starts from that bow and it goes to a particular distance and then it falls down or it hits the target. But when it leaves the bow, it is already, the action has begun. It will not be stopped in between. It will continue on its journey till the energy of that given to that arrow becomes zero. Similarly, the actions which we are performing or this life which we have got, it is like an arrow which is already shot by us in our past life. Though little changes and all we can do in this life, but the major, the trajectory is already set in our past life. Because of our ignorance, because of our desires, because of our vasanas of the past life, we have already initiated the action, and this action in this life is going on by the force of the actions which we have, decisions which we have taken in the past life. So just by not performing action here and there at a limited level will not help me to gain that abidance in my own self. Because the force of this past life action will make the body move, the activity will continue. Like they give example, a person shoots that arrow at let us say at a particular target. He sees something and he decides to shoot. But after shooting, he comes to know, oh, it's a wrong target. There is a cow there. It might get hit by my arrow. Let me withdraw my arrow. You can't withdraw it. It has already left the bow, so it will go and hit. Similarly, this prarabdha karma has already begun, and just by not doing karma here and there, this activity will not stop. So not initiating actions will not take us in the state of meditation. Later on, Bhagavan will tell that our prakriti will force us to perform action because it is already initiated. We can't stop it. It is already begun. So, na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute. A person cannot gain that abidance in the self by just not performing action. One has to follow the proper sequence. One has to gain knowledge first. Then only meditation is possible. Without that knowledge, forcefully stopping actions or doing different types of sadhana to stop our thinking or stop our breathing or stop our activities at the level of the body or at the level of the mind will not take a person into a state of samadhi or into meditation. People spend hours together, days together, performing different types of these sadhanas and gets more and more frustrated. Thereafter they start blaming the spirituality itself, saying, अरे इतने साल से मैंने ध्यान किया, कुछ नहीं हुआ, I was foolish before and I am stupid even now. Nothing has happened. Nothing will happen because you are not listening. You are not following the teaching of Bhagwan properly. Bhagwan says, just by dropping, not performing, initiating action, you will not reach samadhi. Okay, I will not initiate, I will just drop everything and take sannyas. Bhagwan says, nacha sanyasanadeva. Even taking sannyas, dropping all your activities, dropping all your relationship, dropping all your work given to you by the scriptures, by the dharma granthas, and just living all your grahastha ashram or brahmacharya ashram and going up into the forest and sitting there quietly, that will not take you into that samadhi. So, nacha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Why? Why just not stopping the activity will help me to gain samadhi or gain that meditation? Bhagwan gives the reason in the following verse. So let us chant it, verse number 5. Nahi kaschik kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita karyate hyavashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Bhagwan says कि नहीं कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत. Bhagwan says even for a fraction of a second, कश्चित् क्षणम, even for a fraction of a second, even for a short time, a person cannot remain without performing action. नहीं यस्मात् क्षणमपि कालम जातो कदाचित कश्चित तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत सन. Without performing action, we cannot remain even for a second. You can try. Like breathing is happening, you can't stop the breathing. Like circulation of blood and all is happening, we can't stop it. Or like the eyes are seeing, hearing, tasting, we can't stop. For some time we might be able to stop them, but our samskar will force us to again continue with this activity. We try to stop our mind from thinking, we just try to stop, we catch hold of that mind, but again the thoughts are activated and we are forced to think, we are forced to feel, we are forced to remember, we are forced to take different decisions. So even for a short time, person cannot remain without performing activity, because the sense of doership which is there within us, it activates this system and the action keeps happening. See again, let me tell you the mechanism how this action happens. See, this body, mind, intellect in this world, these are all expressions of Bhagwan's Prakriti. It is all expressions of Bhagwan Prakriti, or what we call Bhagwan's Maya. But within this body-mind complex, we are experiencing our own being, and we are unaware of our own nature. We have ignorance of our own nature. We have this avidya. And this avidya has given rise to certain desires. I want this, I want to go there, I want to experience that, I want to gain pleasure in that. So lots of desires are there. So these desires activates the Prakriti in order to fulfill those desires. So our avidya and Bhagwan's Maya together makes all action happens. Our avidya and Bhagwan's Maya together make all actions happen. In the 7th chapter, Bhagwan tells very clearly when he is talking about the Prakriti, he says that this avyakta, what is this avyakta? Bhagwan says, avidya sanyuktam avyaktam. He says this avyakta is associated with this avidya, and together gives that initiates different types of actions in this world. Like for example, Bhagwan create this world. The whole world get dissolved in Bhagwan, and then that sankalpa arises in Bhagwan that let me create this world. Why this sankalpa arises? This sankalpa actually belongs to or for the sake of all the beings. Because all the beings, their samskars, their desires are there which needs fulfillment. So in order to fulfill the desires of all the beings, Bhagwan creates this world. He sustains the world. And then again he dissolves the world into himself and again creates. So the desires or the vidya of all beings and Bhagwan's Prakriti together, they make all actions happen. Okay. So here Bhagwan is saying that if your avidya is not eliminated, if your desires are not eliminated by proper understanding, just by forcefully stopping the actions from happening, those actions will not stop. It might appear that you have controlled your senses, it might appear that you have controlled your mind, it might appear that you have controlled your thoughts and all, but then forcefully again they will move in various activities. So Bhagwan says, Nahi kaschik kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. That a person cannot remain without performing action even for a second. See, very interesting that even after gaining knowledge, self-knowledge, even after gaining abidance in the self, even after becoming sthita prajna, even after becoming a jivan mukta, the activities at the level of the body, the activities at the level of the mind, the activities at the level of the intellect, and all the activities in the world continue to happen. So stopping the activities of the world, body, mind has got nothing to do with gaining abidance in our own self. Though the self is free from action, by not performing action at the worldly level, one cannot gain abidance in that self. I hope you are following what I am saying, because I don't see you, na? So I don't know what is happening. So if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments later on. I will try to reply. So nahi kshana kasyit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Then what? He says karyate hi avashak karma sarva prakriti jayar gunaihi. Bhagwan says all the actions will forcefully be performed. Avasha, forcefully. All actions कार्यते ही आवश्यक कर्म, अलग अलग प्रकार के कर्म जो है वो हो जाएगा. One will helplessly perform different types of action forced, propelled by the gunas of Prakriti. By the gunas of Prakriti. The Prakriti is there, which has Sattva gun, Rajogun, Tamogun. And these gunas, they force or they initiate different types of activity depending on our samskar. So our samskar, along with the Prakriti, will keep on performing the different types of activities in this world. Therefore, by not performing or trying not to perform action, trying to quieten the mind, trying to quieten our thoughts, trying to quieten our breathing, and trying to gain that total quietude, total non-action at the level of a body-mind, Bhagavan says just by doing this, you will not gain that state of meditation. Because the Prakriti will force you to act, and you will start, you are already identifying with the Prakriti, so you will start moving wherever the Prakriti takes you. That is not. See, the fan is moving, so forcefully using brute strength, if I try to stop the fan from moving, for some time it will stop, but as soon as you release your hold, it will continue moving. Because it is already initiated into action. It will not stop. It will not stop like that. So, nahi kaschik kshanamapi jato tishtati akarmakrita karyate hi avashak karma sarva prakriti jayar gunai. So, our prakriti, Bhagwan's prakriti, has got these three gunas, and these three gunas, they are already initiated actually. Our avidya has initiated the actions at the level of a Prakriti, and they keep happening. Whether we like it or we don't like it, actions will happen at the level of a body, mind, intellect. Whether we like it or don't like it, our mind will keep thinking, our mind will keep feeling, our intellect will keep taking decisions. Our memory will keep pouring out all the past incidents in our antakarana, and the activities will keep on happening. We will become restless and feel miserable, but still the activities cannot stop like that. We might just renounce everything, try to go to some ashram, stay there, or go to the Himalayas and spend a lot of time. We will stop eating and try to maintain that tapas and all, and just stop contact with the world and just sit and meditate. Bhagavan says, "ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है." You will not gain that abidance in yourself by this type of thing. And this is being done by thousands of people all over the world, misunderstanding spirituality to become actionless. They think becoming actionless we can gain that meditation, we can gain that samadhi avastha. Bhagavan says aisa nahi hoga. This is not the method. This is not. By forcefully stopping the action, you cannot gain abidance in yourself. उसका और इसका कोई संबंध नहीं है. The very fact that you are trying to forcefully stop the action itself shows that you have this strong sense of doership. So when I have this strong sense of doership, I do action, And even not to do action is also a type of doing action only. That is also done with the sense of doership only. So Bhagavan says, karyate hi avashak karma. Helplessly, different types of karmas will be done by you, forced by the prakriti. Sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Prakriti will make you perform action. तो रोक नहीं सकता है. So that is not the method. That is not spirituality. So if one doesn't listen and continue doing like that, then Bhagavan talks about such people. He says in the next verse, he says, Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyacharasya uchyate. He says, Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran. Ki yaha, he who, an ignorant, foolish seeker, without following the proper path of Karma Yoga, without gaining self-knowledge, if such a foolish person just sits, restraining all his karmendriyas, karmendriyani sanyamya, he sits at one place, holding his hands, not allowing the hands from doing any action, and folds his legs also so that it will not move anywhere. He shuts his mouth so that no talking happens. So all his senses are kept under strict control. His eyes are closed, his ears are also, he will put something in his ear so that it doesn't hear anything. So in this way he restrains everything. Outwardly, karmendriyani sanyamya. But however forcefully he might restrain the body and all, the mind cannot be restrained with force. The mind is very powerful. So the mind will keep on thinking of all the objects. The mind will keep on functioning as before. The mind will keep on functioning as it was functioning before for this ignorant person. The mind will keep, means his antakarana, will keep thinking of the past, will keep thinking of the future, will keep thinking of some other place, time, objects, will think of some pleasure, will think of some pain. So all this will keep on happening. They will keep on happening. So indriyarthan vimudhatma. So such a vimud means such a deluded, foolish person prevents his senses and his indriyas from going to their respective field, eyes from seeing objects, ears from hearing sound, and hands and legs and all. Everything is restrained and he is sitting. But his mind is functioning, his antakaran is functioning, moving in the whole world. Like Kabir Das ji has written, कि माला तो कर में फिरे, and what? And that japa, he keeps jivva to mukhamai, and his tongue is moving in his mouth. But manuva to chahu disi fire, yah to sumiran nahi. But his mind will keep on rolling everywhere. This is not called smaran, this is not dhyana. So indriyarthan vimudhatma, such a person who is behaving in such a way, Bhagavan says mithyacharasya uchyate. His achara, this activity is mithya, is useless, is totally fruitless, is mithya, is false activity, is like a hypocrisy. It will not give any proper fruitful results. It will make him more and more foolish only. So karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma. Bhagavan says he is vimudha, utterly foolish. mithyacharasya uchyate. This is all his mithyachar only. Senseless, stupid, foolish action. It will not help that seeker in the list. So, Bhagavan says, not performing action will not give you that state of meditation. So, what should you do? You perform action properly. And that proper action will take you beyond action. That is what again Bhagavan tells, this path of Karma Yoga now. In the 7th verse, Bhagavan says, Yastvendriyani manasa niyamyarabhate arjuna karmendriya karma yogam asaktasya vishishyate. Bhagavan says, compared to this foolish person mentioned before, one should act wisely. Performing action is not against your sadhana. It will not take you from your own self. Though your self is free from all action, but at this stage you perform action. It will take you beyond action. So yastu indriyani manasa niyamya. So controlling all your senses with your mind, initiate all actions which are your duties. Initiate all actions which are your responsibilities, your kartavya karma. So, hey Arjuna, restraining your indriyas means even for a karma yogi, the total control over his senses is important. So, controlling your senses with your mind, initiate the activities which are part of your duty, which are your responsibility, through your karmendriya, with your karmendriyas. So karmendriya hi karma yogam. So follow the path of karma yoga, but remain asaktaha. Asaktaha means asangaha, without attachment to the karma and karma phala. Dedicating all your actions to the Supreme, you perform all actions. Such a person, vishishyate, is better, is superior to this person who was trying to control, restrain his senses, but his mind was running wild. Better than that person is a karma yogi who, controlling his senses, initiates all the activities which are part of his duties without having any attachment, remaining asanga. He performs his activities, fulfills all his duties. Such a person, vishishyate. So this is a very important point which Bhagavan has conveyed in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 verses. 1, 2, 3, 4 verses. Bhagavan says that not performing action will not take you to that state of meditation, because the Prakriti will force you to act. But if you try to fight with that Prakriti and somehow try to stop your activity, you will be able to succeed to a certain extent to stop the outer activity, but your inner mind and antakarana will keep on functioning. This will be totally useless, foolish action, hypocrisy on your part. Instead of that, control your senses and initiate all the activity which are your duty and your responsibility, without having any attachment, means with kartavya buddhi, asanga buddhi, samatva buddhi, ishvara arpana buddhi and prasada buddhi. You perform all your actions that will take you to the final goal. Slowly and steadily you will reach the final goal. So this is the first main thing which Bhagavan tells. Not performing action will not help you. Performing actions will help you. Now the second question is that what type of action we should perform. As I said, the main thing about Karma Yoga is to understand what are our duties, Kartavya Buddhi. So what exactly is our Kartavya? What are our duties in this world? How to understand them and how to perform our duties properly, that Bhagwan will now tell in the following verses. Those verses we will see in our class tomorrow. Today you can contemplate on these verses which we have seen, and then we will meet again tomorrow. So stay safe, stay home, follow all the rules and regulations which are given by the government, and stay safe, stay happy, healthy, peaceful, do your studies, do your work, and we will meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.